morning papers?
Not a thing. I'm just bored, Watson.
Bored?
Yes, extremely so. From my point of view, London has become a very uninteresting place since the death of Professor Moriarty.
I hardly think that I meant to agree with you, Mom. The man was the criminal.
Yes, Watson, the very reason I found him so intriguing. I could always count on him for a bizarre case. You know, like some unusual conundrum to just engage my mind. He was the Napoleon of crime. It's like my world was growing quiet without him.
That's a little bit ridiculous.
What? Do you know that one time? We went to the
Holmes! Holmes, you must say
What's this?
you must say the only one who can.
Great Scott, Holmes, man, stated!
Are you all right?
Yes, I think so.
That's my revolver.
There'll be no need of that. I'm not a violent man.
Will you take a chair?
You must excuse me, Holmes. We're running from several miles from the police and on other things.
Have you been followed?
Yes.
Then I suggest you begin your tale as soon as possible.
As you wish, Holmes, my name is John Penton McFallen. Perhaps you've heard of me from this morning's paper.
Except that you are a bachelor, a lawyer, a Freemason, and probably an asthmatic. I know nothing about you.
Yes, I know that. But how did you know?
Oh, allow me, Holmes. I've gained many of my friend's abilities through observation of them. The tidiness of his attire tells me you're a bachelor. Your watch chain shows me you're a Freemason. The papers you carry mark you as a lawyer, and your heavy breathing can only mean you're asthmatic.
Excellent, Watson. You've learned well.
Yes, Detectives, I am a lawyer. I'm a junior partner at Grandin McFallen. I've been there only a day, but they're helping me being a full partner.
I see. And why is such a promising young lawyer being chased about London by the police?
Because they think I murdered Mr. Jonas Oldacre. I swear to you, Holmes, I am innocent.
So murder is it? I was just remarking that there were normal cases of interest. Please start at the beginning of your affair.
Yesterday, at about 3 o'clock, Mr. Jonas Oldacre came to my office and requested that I copy out his will and a legal document. He handed me several sheets of scribble writing from a notebook. Here they are, Holmes. As I was writing out the provisions of the will, I noticed that all this property he had left to me.
See. Why on earth would he make you his benefactor?
Mr. Oldacre explained that since he was a bachelor with no living relation, and as a youth he knew my parents in Blackheath, he should like all his money to go to me.
I see. What did you do then?
The will was duly signed and notarized, but he had mentioned some other documents in the safe and needed attention, and asked if I would come to his house the next day at 9 o'clock. Of course I agreed.
So you traveled to Norwood to take care of this business?
Correct.
When did the police first suspect you of this crime?
This morning, 2 constables charged my doorstep and charged me with the murder of Mr. Jonas Oldacre. They explained that since he was missing, all the evidence pointed to me. I pleaded my innocence to them, but they ignored me.
Well, if you're innocent, then why did you run?
I don't know, Holmes. The thought of disgracing my family name and going to jail was too much to bear. As the constables were searching my house, I managed to overpower one of them and ran out the door. I have avoided them all morning, you see, and I've come up with a deed to see you, Holmes. You must help me, Holmes, you must.
If I am to help you, I will need to know a few things. Did anyone see you in Mr. Oldacre's estate?
Yes, Miss Lexington.
Anyone else?
No.
Did anyone see you leave?
No, Mr. Oldacre let me out through his own French windows, as not to disturb his housekeeper.
See. And if you, Mr. McFarland, didn't kill this Mr. Oldacre, who did?
I don't know, but I may have one clue. As I was going through the checks, I came out to some checks made out to Mr. Cornelius. When I asked about them, he tried to hide them from me.
Very strange. And who might this Cornelius be?
I don't know, but he was very anxious to hide them from me.
Were the checks in large amounts or small?
Very large, and there was quite a lot of them.
Very strange. What do you make of it?
Isn't it obvious, Holmes? Mr. Cornelius is blackmailing Mr. Oldacre, and perhaps he is Mr. Oldacre's murder too. I mean, I think it's worth looking into, isn't it?
Perhaps it is. I would ask you more questions, but I keep your footsteps outside and no, don't carry on. If you are innocent, as you say, then I will see that justice is done to you. Just stand over there and Watson can see what it is. There's no use hiding from Holmes. Try to right in.
What's on? I found it. What's on? What's on?
What's right there?
What's on?
Ah, there you are. I arrest you in the name of Scotland Yard. Higgins, take this man away.
Yes, Inspector.
Holmes! You must save me! You're the only one who can.
What does he mean by that? Nothing very important, Mr. Hunt. I know why he came to you. He thinks he can get away with all your reasoning and deduction, but it won't work this time. Well, for
he has him in his grasp.
Well, Lestrade, I've heard his side of the story, and should very much like to hear what your investigation has turned up.
Very well. Suppose I could rest my feet for a bit. Just that one all over London since 9 this morning.
I see.
I'll show you how Scotland Yard handles a case, Holmes. I suppose young McFarlane told you about Old Acre's will?
He did. He also told us that he left the gentleman alive and well. I shouldn't take that out.
Greetings. You have these papers on.
Thank you, Higgins.
Welcome. I don't get paid enough for this.
Shouldn't take that at face value, Holmes. The housekeeper admitted Mr. McFarlane to the house, saw him going to Old Acre's side with him, and never saw him put alive again.
Well, where was the body found?
That was a diabolical part of the story. There was a small timber yard behind the Old Acres estate last night, and when the flames were extinguished, charred remains of Old Acres' body were found.
That's circumstantial, Lestrade. Perhaps Mr. Oldacre died himself while trying to extinguish those flames.
Nice try, Holmes, but there's more to the story. The safe was found open, and a number of important documents were found scattered about, and traces of blood were found. And last clue is the most important against Ben McFarlane. His oaken walking stick was found in Old Acre's study, and blood was on the handlebar.
Well, Lestrade, you've certainly drawn a tight net around this young man.
I think we've done a good job.
And what do you think of this evidence, Lestrade? It's very curious, is it not?
It is. It's that is like. Look at the first few lines here at the beginning. Some in the middle, and I can't read it all in some places. It's very bad. What do you make of it?
That it was written on a train. The good writing represents stations, the bad writing movement, and the very bad writing passing over points.
Sorry, Holmes, but what bearing does it have with the case on hand?
It confirms John McFarlane's story that Mr. Oldacre drew up his will on his journey to London yesterday. But it is strange, is it not, that a man should drop such an important document in so careless a fashion?
Perhaps he was in a hurry.
Or else he never intended to use this document.
Well, he drew his own death warrant ready this will.
Do you really think so?
Don't you?
There are some points that are not clear.
Not clear? It could be any more clear to me. A young man lives with a certain older man dies, who inherited a large fortune. To this man's house, to the only other person in the room was asleep, and then BAM! Murders the old man, drags his body to a timber yard, and tries to cover up his crime with fire. Is this not obvious?
Yes, Lestrade, it's a trifle too obvious for my taste.
Well, the future will show which one of us is correct. But keep this in mind. John McFarlane is the only man who stands proudly to Old Acre's death, and every clue points to him as being the culprit.
Lestrade, one moment. Will you be so kind as to accompany me to Norwood on Thursday?
Scotland Yard has already completed its investigation, but if you wish, you may go have a look for yourself.
Thank you. See you on Thursday then?
See you Thursday. Good day, Holmes. Watson.
Lestrade. Sir Watson, what do you make of this business?
The evidence against him McFarlane seems very dark.
Forced to agree with you. Although I hate to admit it, Lestrade may be on the right case with this one.
But what do you propose to do?
To investigate Watson and to use all my powers to make sure that young John McFarlane is in the correct place.
What about this mysterious Mr. Cornelius and the blackmailing book?
Well, it's been my experience that blackmailers really have the stomach for murder. But still, there is another reason we must highlight in this whole mystery. Have you scheduled the trains?
Yes, it's over here.
And what is the next train to Blackheath?
You mean Norwood, don't you?
Immediately, I would have said so.
Yes, you. The next train to Blackheath leaves in an hour. But Donald doesn't understand.
Lestrade believes his investigation is over, but he has not questioned one very important person and one very important place. The only logical way to approach this is to throw light on this curious will, so suddenly made by such an unusual movement.
And what should I do in your absence?
Stay in touch with Lestrade and keep up with any further evidence.
I will, Holmes.
And when I return, be prepared to accompany me to Norwood to investigate the scene of this crime.
I'll be ready, Holmes. Good luck.
Thank you. I'll see you on Thursday. The game is afoot.
So, you're John McFarlane's father.
That is correct, Mr. Holmes.
And you have heard of this Norwood business and the charges against your son.
Well, yes, I have heard of them, but I do not know them. My son is innocent of any wrongdoing.
I hope to prove him so. Can you shed any light upon the victim, Mr. Jonas Soldinger?
He was an evil man, Mr. Holmes. The world is a better place for his death.
That's a very strong statement, don't you think?
Well, I cannot lie to you, Mr. Holmes. I cannot grieve over the fate of Mr. Older, except that somehow my son may suffer for it.
Your son mentioned a past connection between your wife and Mr. Soldinger. Could you explain?
Yes, he was an old tutor of his, and they used to be engaged many years ago. But thank goodness she had since taken away from him before it was too late.
Was he bitter about being rejected by her?
Well, yes, but on her wedding day, he sent her a note with a casebook saying he would never forgive or forget what he had done to her.
He was the most dark and melancholy man then.
Just so, Mr. Holmes, but I had became quite wealthy as a builder in Norwood. But I'm sure she has never regretted her decision to marry me instead.
Well, McFarlane, you've given me something to go on.
Will it help free my son from the charge of murder?
Perhaps I see more cause than before, but the evidence is still strong against your son.
I know. The newspapers are already calling him guilty.
Tomorrow I'm traveling to Norwood to inspect the scene of crime. I hope to find more evidence in favor of your son.
Well, I wish you luck, Mr. Holmes, but I fear John's case is lost. Old Acre has trapped him somehow, and I don't see how he can escape.
You must have hope. You can count on me to do my best.
Inspector Sherlock, how much longer is it going to take Mr. Holmes out there?
I don't know, Higgins. He searched all around the house, and now he's poking around outside.
Why don't you show me the weapons?
As soon as he returns. Did he inspect the room?
Yes, sir. Evidence book from the magnifying glass of his.
Did he find it?
No, sir. Now, what we'll do will be done first.
I think Mr. Sherlock Holmes is barking up the wrong tree this time. Aha! Here he comes now. And his face looks as long as the afternoon shadows. That means he hasn't found anything to prove his wild theories. Hello, Mr. Holmes. Anything to clear young McFarlane yet?
I have formed no conclusion whatsoever.
We, on the other hand, formed our opinion yesterday. I know you don't like being beaten, Mr. Holmes, but I think we have to this time.
Oh, and why is that, Miss Straught? Did you discover a new clue?
Matter of fact, we did. Let me show. Let me show you, Mr. Holmes. Now, this is where young McFarlane must have grabbed his hat after the crime was done, correct?
Go on.
Now look at this, Mr. Holmes. Look at it with your magnifying glass. What do you find, Holmes?
It's a thumbprint pressed in blood upon the wall.
You are aware that no two thumbprints are alike.
I've heard something like that.
Well then, will you please compare this wax impression of John McFarlane's thumbprint with that one? We had it done this morning.
They're identical, the same thumbprint.
It would seem this seals John McFarlane's fate.
Exactly, Doctor. I think this last clue is final. John McFarlane is the murderer of Jonas Soldinger.
Well, who'd have thought it? He's such a nice-looking man. Best not to jump to conclusions, is it, Lestrade?
Yes, some of us are too fast to inform.
And what a lucky thing for us that young McFarlane should press his thumb against the wall as he reached for his hat. By the way, Lestrade, who made this discovery?
I thought Mr. was his Lexington to drive for our attention.
Yes, I might have guessed that.
What are you trying to say, Mr. Holmes? That John McFarlane escaped prison last night to incriminate himself further by leaving his thumbprint on the wall? I say to any expert in the world that that is not John McFarlane's thumbprint.
Oh no, it is unquestionably his thumbprint.
Well then, I'm glad you agree with me. I'm a practical man, Mr. Holmes, and when I have my evidence, I form my conclusions. If you have anything else to say to me, you will find me at my desk writing my report.
Well, Holmes, I believe it's all over for John McFarlane.
Not quite, Watson. I think there's just one ray of hope which has made itself known.
There is? I'm glad to hear it.
There's some very interesting features about this case, Watson, most of which is this thumbprint.
What's about it, Holmes?
I know for a fact, Watson, that it was not there yesterday when I searched the house.
Great Scott, Holmes, are you sure?
Positive, Watson.
But how did it get there?
Someone must have put it there while we were outside and Lestrade was occupied.
Yes, but who could have done it?
One person, and one person only, Mrs. Lexington, the housekeeper. I think it's time we bring Lestrade into our confidence. So, Inspector, you're writing a report?
Yes, I am, Mr. Holmes.
Don't you think you're being a little premature?
Just
face it, Mr. Holmes, you've been beaten. There's no possible way you can prove John McFarland is innocent, so you might as well just stop trying.
On the contrary, Lestrade, I didn't want you to finish writing your official report before taking in the last witness of this crime.
Last witness. What do you mean?
There's yet one person you have not yet questioned.
Can you produce him?
I think I can.
Well, what are you waiting for then?
I'll do my best. First of all, Higgins, go and fetch Mrs. Lexington.
Go ahead, Higgins, if it'll bring this case to a close.
Yes, sir.
Now, we will need something that burns. Ah, yes, this candle should do. And Lestrade, will you hand me the wastebasket?
This had better be good, Mr. Holmes.
I think you'll find it worth your while. Now, Watson, would you like the candle?
Oh, certainly, Holmes.
What is
I haven't a clue, Inspector. But whatever it is, it should be interesting.
We'll see about that.
Ah, yes, gentlemen, I think this should be the right spot. And Higgins, just in time for the fireworks. I think this will interest you also, Mrs. Lexington.
I thought you were completing your investigation.
Yeah, I rather think you would have hoped to be gone by now.
What do you mean by that, Mr. Holmes?
Observe, Lestrade, I won't let you down. Now, gentlemen, I ask you but one favor. On the count of 3, join me in the cry of fire. 1, 2, 3.
Fire!
Once again, loud this time.
Fire!
Once more.
Fire! Why are we even doing this? It's not like he's going to jump into our house. Whoa, whoa, whoa!
Let
Stay
me
down!
go.
Stop your strolling!
Let me go.
What is all this then?
Lestrade, may I present Mr. Jonas Oldacre.
Cuff him! What have you been doing in there all this time?
I've done no harm. You have nothing on me.
No harm, eh? You've done your best to hang an innocent man.
It was all a joke. Just my practical joke.
Oh, what joke, eh? You won't find much to laugh about in front of a judge.
By the way, Watson, don't let Mrs. Lexington sneak away. It was she who put the thumbprint on the wall.
You told on me, traitor.
I did, Mr. Dacre. I did everything exactly as you told me to.
She didn't need to tell me, I deduced it.
And she will be placed under arrest as an accomplice to the crime.
Take them away, Higgins.
I would have gone away with this for work for you, Mr. Holmes. I'll get it for this one day.
I think that for some time you should find yourself fully occupied. One more thing, Higgins. Mr. Oldacre, what did you put in the wood pile beside some old clothing? A dead dog? Rats. Well, tell us then. Take them away, Higgins.
I don't understand, Mr. Holmes.
It's quite simple, Lestrade. Mr. Oldacre faked his own death and framed John McFarland for murder. However, as he sat in his den of secrecy, it struck him what strong evidence a thumbprint on the wall would be. So, he had Mrs. Lexington place it there after I had already searched the room.
Wonderful, Mr. Holmes. It's as clear as a crystal when you say it.
But, Watson, you have not yet asked me why or how the thumbprint got there.
What? While we're on the topic of accomplices possibly to the crime, who is this Mr. Cornelius?
Mr. Cornelius, I believe it was Oldacre himself under a double existence. As you know, wrote out large sums of money. I believe he intended to send himself these to a provincial town where he led a double existence.
Interesting. Mr. Holmes, I have no idea how to thank you. You've saved the life of an innocent man, and you have saved the reputation, my reputation at the Scotland Yard. How do I thank you?
Nonsense, Lestrade. Instead of being ruined, you should find your reputation greatly enhanced. Just make a few alterations to your report, and you should find that everyone should see how hard it is to throw dust into the eyes of Inspector Lestrade of Scotland Yard.